friends. Welcome to the Tuesday edition of AM Buffalo. Coming up on today's show, actor Colm Wilkinson from Phantom of the Opera is here. We'll have a tasty recipe for sea scallops in pink. Here they are, Brian Gale and Linda Pellegrino. Good morning.
Good morning. Good morning.
We call them Be Rowdy. I think they're going to be too.
These are real Phantom fans.
Boy, I'll
in our
tell you.
audience.
There are a couple folks, as a matter of fact. Raise your hand. Who's the young lady who has seen the Phantom of the Opera in Toronto 25 times? Raise your hand.
Oh, my goodness.
And the young lady next to her, 30 times.
My goodness.
Those are fans. Am I right? Yeah.
Wow. They bring your own pillow to sit on? That's a long time. 20, 30 hours.
But it's amazing. That's what a kind of phenomenon.
It's kind of addicting, isn't it?
This is. It's just absolutely amazing. And, of course, it draws people from Buffalo and Syracuse and all over Canada. And 2.5 years they run. And this morning, the Phantom is here.
Yes, Colm Wilkinson.
Yeah,
well, big,
meet him shortly.
Big following here in this audience, just to name a few.
I mentioned the show's been on 2.5 years in Toronto. Some of the other interesting facts, there are 200 costumes in the show, 190 trap doors built into the stage for the Pantages Theater.
I guess they had to almost redo the entire theater just for this show.
Yeah.
190 trap doors?
Trap doors. Now, we have 35 trap doors, and they're all in the audience here. So you applaud or you're gone. You're history. Right? Well, for 2.5 years, our first guest has mesmerized audiences in the Toronto production of The Phantom of the Opera. Underneath that mask, though, you'll find a former rock and roller, father of 4 children, and we're delighted to say our special guest this morning. Please welcome Colm Wilkinson. During the break, some of the audience said, "Let's do the wave." And I said, "I bet you've never seen the wave, but you have."
Yeah, sometimes you get people in with banners, you know, going like this. Saying, "Sing it again, Colm, sing it again." No.
Isn't it amazing, though? We refer to the fact that one young lady in our audience has gone 30 times, and you've got people who've seen it more than that.
50, 60, 70 times, yeah.
Wow.
I mean, it's just, that's the kind of show it is. It just draws people back. I don't think you see it all in one go. You have to come back 3 or 4 times to see it, 5 times, 6 times. Please do, please do.
Please do, yeah.
We need the money, please do.
That's quite a run, 2.5 years. I didn't realize, in all honesty, until I was reading some of the material, that you were the original Phantom.
Oh, yes.
I mean, there's some, other things have been said about that, but...
Yeah, in Sidmonton in '85, Andrew Lloyd Webber's home, we did the workshop of the Phantom of the Opera, and I was the Phantom with Sarah Brightman. I was the first Phantom to sing the music. And Andrew asked me to do it, but I was already contracted to do Les Miserables at the time, and Cameron McIntosh was producing both shows. And I actually liked the music so much that I did ask, could I do the Phantom? And Cameron McIntosh said, no, but he said, if Les Miserables doesn't work, he can do the Phantom.
Yeah.
So
obviously it worked.
I had an opportunity to do both, but no, it was great this way because Garth Drabinsky from Live Entertainment offered me the part. They asked me to do the part in London, and I said no, I didn't want to go in after anybody. So Garth said, I've got a new show here, beautiful new theater, and it's going to be the best. And so I said, fine, that's the way I want to do it.
Yeah, now I know from talking to you earlier, you did not plan on staying 2.5 years.
No, I only planned on staying 9 months. And again, Mr. Drabinsky is very persuasive. He keeps on offering me more money every time I want to leave. So, no, it's such a great show, and it's a successful show. It's a huge show, and it's very hard to leave it.
But staying has meant moving your family from Dublin, right? And your wife and a couple of your kids.
Yes, 2 children over to Toronto. The 2 younger ones are going to school and are quite settled there. Also, I don't want to move my family around Brian too much, you know, so I try to stay in one place. That's a lot of the decision to stay is due to my family, you know. I have had offers to do other work, but it's good to be in one place with your family as long as possible. I mentioned in the introduction, former rock and roller. I think people will find it hard to believe, as I did, that you really had no formal musical training when they listened to you sing. Not as such. I mean, I did go to school, the Christian Brothers schools, and they had choirs and stuff, but I never went to any musical college as such. And on the road, my family are very musical. A lot of my sisters are involved with music and opera and stuff like that. My mother was very musical, my father. So I got a lot of it from there. You were one of 10 children? One of 10, yeah. Wow. Yeah, about the middle of 10. So it was It was quite a, when we all started to sing together, it was quite some sound, I can tell you that.
Yeah.
Especially on St. Patrick's Day, which is great, all this stuff.
Yeah, you like it, huh?
Yeah.
Well, I know, I mentioned you were a rock and roll. The group was called what, The Witnesses?
Yeah, The Witnesses,
Back in 1960?
70, it was 1970, around the late 60s and 1970, and we traveled the world. We did most of the Americana hotels, places like San Juan, Puerto Rico. We did Nassau, the Bahamas. Actually, Nassau, the Bahamas, that's where I met Elvis Presley. And we met a lot of interesting people.
Yeah, and of course, with Jesus Christ Superstar and...
Jesus Christ Superstar was the big early 70s. I left the band, settled down, they asked me to do that. That was the first musical I was ever in. I've been doing musicals now and acting for about 17 or 18 years.
Yeah, and there are more to come. Linda has a fan in the audience with a question.
Yes, we want to know about your grueling schedule.
Do you ever get tired of playing the same role every day?
Yes, you do. Very, very. After sort of 2.5 years, you do. But you just have to pace yourself and try and keep it fresh as much as possible.
Well, I think it was Christmas Eve, and the thing that amazed me, it was, in terms of freshness, you'd have sworn that it was like opening night. It had that special feel.
Well, it's great music, and it's a great show, and when you've got good people and a good theater and the best around you, it's very easy to be, you know, fresh and good.
Yeah. This show is highly mechanized, of course. I mentioned all the trap doors and the chandelier, which is 1,200 pounds.
Yeah.
I know there have to be nights that not everything goes exactly the way it's supposed to.
Well, very, very seldom do we have any glitches because they've worked it so well. And again, a lot of the innovations in this show have been copied worldwide because it's such a good show. And once, actually, when Mulrooney was in, the boat operates in a radio band, and he came in with his security guys, and they had their walkie-talkies, and the walkie-talkies interfered with the radio band, which is, the boat is operated like a radio-controlled car, kids radio, so the boat went all over the place.
You had some ride, huh?
Oh yeah, it ended up blocking the mirror, and it left all the openings in the stage open, and then the smoke came and covered them. So we were going around like this around the stage. But he thought it was great. He thought it was part of the act, you know? He thought it was wonderful.
Yeah. And I mentioned the traps. There's one place where you actually go through.
Yeah, I free fall for about 10 feet through the stage, which is, you don't want to be eating anything extravagant like curries or anything before you do that.
No, I would think not.
You get used to things like that, Brian. You really do. And I'm not afraid of heights. I don't suffer from vertigo or anything, so that's a plus.
Yeah. All right, back to the audience.
Yes, a question from one of Colm's younger fans.
What would you say to a person who wants to pursue an acting career?
Any words of inspiration?
Yeah, I'd say develop a strong handshake and go where the money is.
Good practical advice. Yeah.
No. Do you really want to do this?
Better become a music teacher.
Okay, well, if you have to really love what you're doing. That's the basic ingredient, believe it or not. I mean, people say talk about money. You must have a real love of what you're doing because at the end of the day, it's a very, very insecure, inconsistent business. And you take an awful lot of knocks because it's very personalized. So unless you have a strong love and a support system also that keeps you going, don't get into it. But it's a wonderful, wonderful, wonderful career if you really love it. It really is. It's the best in the world.
I want to ask you about the mask because I would think it allows you a certain amount of anonymity, doesn't it? I mean, can you walk around?
Well, when I want to be known, I walk into parties and I go like this. They all go, oh yeah, that's him. But no, I'm not really that recognizable on the street. No, not.
Well, that's probably kind of nice.
It's great.
Isn't it?
Oh, it's terrific.
Yeah.
It's really cool. I can go in my family places, etc. But you do it like Brian. You miss the adulation. I like people to say, hey, you're very good. I love all that. No, anybody who tells you they don't are liars.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like that.
So sometimes you go to Kmart with a mask on.
I sometimes go. No, I go in and I start saying nighttime show.
Yeah, right. Linda.
Yes.
Colm, there's been some talk about a movie version of Les Miserables with you playing the lead of Jean Valjean. And I was just wondering, is that going to come about? And if it is, what's the time frame on it?
I believe it's next year, and I believe my name is up for a screen test. I have no idea whether I will do it or not because it's really down, as you know, there's so many people have originated roles in musicals and have not done the actual movie. And I don't really know whether I'll do it or not. I was saying that Meryl Streep will probably play Valjean and I'll dub the voice. That's probably But no, I don't really know. I hope to do it though. I'd very much like to do it.
Not to be modest though, but a lot of people are knocking on your door with offers these days, aren't they?
Yes,
movies?
yes, yeah. I've had a lot of different offers since I've been in the Phantom, but as I say, it's a good show. I've had 5 musicals actually, and 3 movies I've missed. But it's just a nice place to be. Toronto is a very nice city. It's a safe city for my children. And it's not just a decision about career. I have to think in terms of 6 people because I have 4 children. And that's where I want to be for the moment.
Yeah, but I read that down the road you were offered a Jekyll and Hyde musical, Broadway.
Yeah, they're after me at the moment to do Jekyll and Hyde on Broadway, and also, I believe, Man of La Mancha. Well, I was supposed to do the Raul Julia thing, the tour of Man of La Mancha, but again, that was one of the musicals I didn't do. And I might do that.
Okay. Lots of fans on the phones this morning, too. Good morning.
Yes, I just want to say that you're wonderful. How do you enjoy working with Rebecca Kane?
Sorry, I didn't hear that.
How do you like working? I'm sorry, one more time?
How do you like working with Rebecca Kane?
Okay.
Rebecca's fine. She's another Christine. Everybody brings something different to the show. Rebecca does her show, and the other girls are fine as well.
What's going to happen tonight? Are you not on stage tonight because you're here?
No, they like to put the understudy on now and then to keep him, the thing fresh. So they've let me out for tonight. I've escaped for tonight to come down here and do this.
Plus you have a bit of a cold. There must be nights that we have a bit of a cold when you go on, right?
Yeah, that's always a threat for singers that they pick up, especially in a company. If somebody comes in with a cold, it just flies around the company and you get it, you know?
Yeah.
So that's a problem, all right. But no, it's a funny thing about a cold. The only problem is it blocks up your ears and you can't hear. But if it doesn't get on the chords, it doesn't affect the voice. It's amazing. You can still sing. Yeah. But you don't hear the orchestra too well.
Yeah. You probably know this lady because she's been there 30 times.
Oh,
right?
yes, I do. I know. I know Dorothy. Dorothy has a share in the Phantom of the Opera.
A message for Colm.
Yes, I'd just like to say on behalf of all the Phantom fans here, we really love you to death as the Phantom.
Good job.
Thank you very much, Dorothy.
For those folks who can't get enough of it, by the way, there is an album too, right? And it's up for a Juno Award.
Yeah, the album has gone triple platinum. It's sold about 370,000 units. It's the second biggest selling album in Canada last year, and it's up for a Juno Award, which is the equivalent of the Grammys in Canada. And it's just a phenomenal accomplishment when you consider that there is another album out there selling as well, and nobody wanted to know about doing this. But it was down to the insistence of Garth Drabinsky, actually, who said, people want to hear the Canadian version of this show. And he was right. He was absolutely right. It's flying out the door, this album. It's of course, I have to say, I'm slightly biased about it, but it is a wonderful album. It's probably the best version of the Phantom in the world.
Well, people love the album, and certainly people love the production, as evidenced by the frequent visits by many people in our audience. And if you haven't seen it yet, it's at the Pantages in Toronto, and the run continues, right?
Yeah, well, that's what we wanted to do, Brian, to come up and possibly, because a lot of people come down and see it, and you mentioned the mask without being facetious about it. People don't know what I look like or what, you know, so it's nice to come down and sort of give a human touch, and this is what I look like, and please come again.
And we're delighted that you joined us.
Thank you very, very much, Brian. Thank you.
We'll be right back.
You can see Colm Wilkinson in Phantom of the Opera now through September 27th at Pantages Theatre, 263 Yonge Street in Toronto. You can charge tickets by phone, area code 416-872-2222.